Hey everyone, Jake from Made for the Range here, and today I have the incredible opportunity to get an early look at the new 2024 collection from my friends over at Toulon Golf. We've got a couple really big updates to the lineup over previous years, as well as some really cool refinements to the shapes that you know and love from the team here. It's also really cool to me that Preston and Tony are back working with their dad. Preston for the first time in the company's history, and then Tony obviously has been with his dad Sean for quite a while. Sean Toulon has a really rich history in the game of golf, and as I now know, is a man that basically never sleeps and is never tired of working. It's an incredibly passionate family over what they're doing here, and you really recognize it from the moment that you start to interact with everybody here. So incredibly grateful for the opportunity to do this, obviously. The new lineup is beautiful. I've already got a Alcatraz built up for myself and putted with it, at least for one round at this point, but I'm really excited to dive into the lineup and show you guys the differences and some of the new stuff specifically that has come out. So the first thing we're gonna start off with is the blade family from the 2024 lineup, and this is gonna include the Austin, the San Diego, the Madison, and then the new edition of the New York City. So the Austin and the Madison haven't changed much. They're on the end here. The Austin is gonna have a sight dot over the flange line of the Madison. They're very, very similar shapes, but the Austin is a little bit more rounded off. It's also got a wider cavity on the back, so just slightly different shaping for those that prefer that, as well as with that sight dot over the flange line. And then the Madison is obviously the tried and true model. It was the OG model of the Toulon family. When we move into the San Diego, that's the most popular blade in the 2024 lineup. So the San Diego is much more rectangular. It's really refined. It has really sharp lines. The bumpers and the shoulders flow together really, really well, but it's very vivid with those edges. You know exactly where they start and stop. So for some people that have a visual preference to see those harsh lines, it can help with alignment, and it also lets people have a more clear direction on the face to the back of the blade, because it's a very, very clear parallel between the two. As we move into the mallets, we have some mid-mallet designs, and then we've got some awesome options in the full mallet designs. Starting with the mid-mallets, we've got the Atlanta and the Memphis. So the Atlanta is refined this year for sure. This is going to be one of the shapes that you notice a bigger difference than the previous generations, just because of its slightly smaller, more compact shape based on previous years. And then it's also just a little bit more refined, a little bit sharper around the edges, but still rolls off beautifully on those dual shoulders into the back, which has a parallel shape here to the face. Again, super, super helpful for alignment features. This is also the only one available in the 4.5 slant neck here. So if you're somebody that needs that amount of towing specifically, which is a slightly over moderate amount of arc in your putting stroke, I would say this is going to be a great option for you. It also isn't super big, so if you're somebody that wants a little bit more forgiveness, but you like that feel of aiming a smaller putter with a blade design, you're really going to like this. The Memphis has gone through some really cool changes. So the old Memphis used to be super rounded. It was really big, it was really deep, and it was very sweeping. So they've kept that sweeping feel in the new Memphis, but it's a lot smaller and it's a lot more visually pleasing to a lot of golfers. It's also a little bit more ear-shaped than it was in previous generations. So you're gonna notice that there's a little bit less mass towards the heel of the putter, and then it rounds off towards the toe a little bit better than the previous generation did. The Memphis this time is also available in a flow neck and in a double bend. So those are complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Basically, if you're somebody that doesn't want any arc rotation in your putting stroke, you're gonna go with that double bend, and then the flow neck is gonna be the most toe hang available in the entire lineup. Moving on, we have the Vegas shape. So the Vegas is the most popular model that Toulon has had since its inception. The Vegas is the typical Fang number 7 shape, and it's obviously got those unique alignment features. So we've got the line on the top of the sight line, as well as the lines coming off the flanges from front to back. So really, really easy to line up your ball. It's also got that perfect shape in the back, so you know exactly where that ball is as far as centering goes on the face. One cool thing that they've added with the Vegas shapes this year is the same neck option that Xander Schauffele had on his. So it was really popular to see people talking about Xander's putter on tour, especially when you're scrolling through social media or something like that. And now with the new Toulon collection, you have that neck available to the consumer. And even better, on top of that, they have added it in a left-handed option so that you standing on the wrong side of the ball aren't felt left out. As we move into the end of the spectrum here, we have the new Alcatraz. This is a brand new shape from the Toulon collection, and this is to rival the jailbird shape that took the 2023 season by absolute storm last year. So this is the first time a shape like this is available in a milled format. So it's made out of the same stainless steel material as the rest of the lineup. And then of course we've got that kind of connected shape in the back of what would typically be a fang shape. And then up top with the finishes that they've done here and the way that the shoulders swoop into each other, that's where you're going to get your alignment features as well as with that cutout in the back to make sure that even on something this big, which is the biggest mallet in the lineup, you have perfect alignment between the face and the back of the putter, which really helps people with something big like this that need the MOI that this is going to give them without the performance lacking features of being too visually impaired by enough stuff on the putter. So every putter in the 2024 Toulon Golf lineup has the mid-depth double fly cut face milling is what they're calling it. And what that was for me, as I've played it already at this point, it was really cool to have such a soft feel, but a lot of auditory feedback, which is something that's really hard to put together without ruining one over the other. So you know for sure when you've peered a putt off of one of these things, but it's also not detrimental when you hit it off center. And part of that story is as we move most of these over to the sole, you're gonna notice that there's an aluminum sole plate on pretty much all of the designs except for the three more traditional blades. So the New York City, which is actually the most forgiving model in the lineup, even though it's a blade, is the only one that has the sole plate that I'm talking about here. That sole plate is used because they're cutting weight out of the milling of the head, replacing that steel with aluminum, and then they're taking that discretionary weight and they're spreading it out towards the perimeter of all of the putters. And then every putter, even the blades, has two adjustable weights. The stock weights in every single putter are going to come with two 10-gram weights. You can go down to 5 grams or all the way up to 25 grams in each location on the heads, so you can dial in your exact feel, whether you like a little bit lighter of a putter or you're somebody that maybe you're making a counterbalance build and you need to go up in weight without having to throw ugly lead tape on top of such a beautiful design here. So that's it for the 2024 Toulon collection. They're all available in what they're calling their brilliant chocolate finish. Preston likes to say that the mint accents make this a mint chocolate chip putter, and then they've also got some really cool cream accents as well with the matching head covers and matching grip options as well. So stay tuned for more from the Toulon family and from Toulon Golf as they recreate the brand now in 2024 and move into the future with some really cool ideas and obviously some beautiful stockline putters. So thanks again to the Toulon family for having me out. Can't wait to see these in the hands of golfers pretty much everywhere.